How Norway built an EV utopia while the US is struggling to go electric. With 82% of new car sales in Norway being electric vehicles in 2023, the country has achieved the highest rate of electric vehicle adoption globally, compared to just 7.6% in the United States and 24% in China. The Norwegian government's sustained commitment to providing incentives for electric vehicle purchases since the 1990s is primarily responsible for this success. In this video, we will highlight some key factors that contribute to EV utopia. Number 7. Incentives and subsidies. Norway started its journey toward the widespread adoption of electric vehicles in the 1990s with a number of creative policies meant to increase the economic attractiveness of EVs. The government got rid of a number of taxes that were previously a burden when buying a car, like the significant registration fees and the 25% value-added tax. An electric vehicle's initial cost was essentially lowered by this tax exemption, putting it on par with conventional cars with internal combustion engines. The price difference plays a pivotal role in the purchasing decisions of numerous consumers. Norwegian EV owners benefit from a number of continuous financial advantages in addition to tax exemptions. For example, they are not required to pay tolls on the majority of roads and ferries, which can result in substantial savings, particularly for those who commute every day. To further increase their appeal, a lot of cities provide free or heavily discounted parking for electric cars. In order to facilitate faster travel times in crowded urban areas, some cities have even set aside dedicated lanes for electric vehicles. Together, these incentives have produced a financially advantageous environment that incentivizes consumers to select electric vehicles over those that run on fossil fuels. The government has started to review these incentives as the market for electric vehicles has grown. Even though some benefits are being phased out or modified, the overall objective is still to have 100% of vehicles on the road be zero-emission by 2025. This long-term plan strikes a balance between the need for sustainable growth and state revenue, ensuring that Norway stays at the forefront of EV adoption. Number 6. Charging infrastructure. The success of electric vehicles depends on a well-developed infrastructure for charging them, and Norway has made large investments in this field. With almost 21,000 public charging stations as of 2023, the nation is among the most highly equipped in the world for electric vehicle charging. Rapid charging stations are located along major highways in this vast network, which is essential for long-distance travel. Fast charger accessibility helps electric vehicle owners recharge their cars more quickly, which lessens range anxiety and makes EVs a practical choice for a variety of trips. In addition, the government has put in place rules that make it easier to install charging stations in residential areas, especially in apartment buildings where there might not be easy access to private garages. Even those who live in cities will be able to conveniently charge their cars at home thanks to this initiative. Additionally, a lot of municipalities have offered incentives to companies that install charging stations, which helps to broaden the network and increase accessibility to charging. Convenience is not the only reason to commit to creating a robust charging infrastructure. Promoting an electric mobility culture is another. Norway has made it simpler for customers to switch to electric vehicles by guaranteeing that charging stations are widely accessible, which supports the notion that EVs are useful and easy to use. Number 5. Renewable energy sources. A key component of Norway's EV success story is its energy environment. Approximately 98% of the nation's electricity is produced by hydropower and other renewable energy sources. Because of this reliance on clean energy, there is a noticeable decrease in greenhouse gas emissions when vehicles transition from gasoline and diesel to electric ones. Knowing that their electric cars are powered by renewable energy makes switching more alluring to Norwegian consumers, who value environmental sustainability and climate responsibility. Norway's dedication to lowering air pollution and accomplishing challenging climate goals enhances the environmental advantages of electric vehicles. The government is combating climate change and enhancing public health by lowering harmful emissions in urban areas through the promotion of electric mobility. The Norwegian people identify with this dual emphasis on sustainability and public health, which makes electric vehicles a desirable option. The government has also put laws into place that promote the creation of new renewable energy projects, guaranteeing that the grid can handle the increasing demand from electric vehicles. Norway's proactive energy management strategy has established it as a frontrunner in the global shift to sustainable transportation. Number 4. Cultural and social factors. The success of Norway in embracing electric vehicles is largely influenced by cultural attitudes. The value of environmental sustainability is widely acknowledged in society, and this consensus has been strengthened by public awareness campaigns and educational programs. Many Norwegians believe that switching to electric cars is morally required and will help in the fight against climate change. Another result of EVs being more visible on the roads is a phenomenon known as the neighborhood effect, which encourages other people to think about switching to an EV. Adoption rates of electric vehicles are further accelerated by a positive feedback loop that develops as more people choose to drive EVs, increasing their social acceptance and desirability. The government's dedication to encouraging electric mobility through a variety of channels, such as public events, incentives, and business partnerships, supports this cultural shift. Furthermore, policies that increase taxes on high-emission vehicles have been put in place by the Norwegian government, which effectively discourages the purchase of conventional internal combustion engine vehicles. Number 3. Emissions-based taxation. One of the most important parts of Norway's plan to encourage electric cars and lower overall vehicle emissions is its emissions-based tax. Higher taxes are intended to be levied on cars with higher emissions, thereby increasing the cost of ownership and operation. The government encourages consumers to think about the environmental impact of their vehicle choices by directly tying vehicle taxes. For instance, the tax structure has fees that are computed at the time of vehicle registration and are based on emissions of carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide. Electric vehicles are completely exempt from taxes, but high-emission vehicles are subject to significant ones. Because they can avoid the high costs associated with owning a traditional internal combustion engine vehicle, buyers of EVs will clearly benefit financially from this. As a result, there is a noticeable change in consumer behavior, with many choosing to drive electric cars in order to benefit from these savings. Furthermore, by discouraging the purchase of high-emission vehicles, this tax policy is in line with Norway's larger environmental goals. The government has established aggressive goals for cutting greenhouse gas emissions, and one effective means of achieving these goals is the emissions-based tax system. Norway not only encourages the adoption of electric vehicles, but also cultivates a culture of environmental responsibility among its citizens by making it economically unfeasible to own a polluting vehicle. Number 2. Local government initiatives. Norway's local governments have taken the lead in encouraging the use of electric vehicles by implementing a number of specialized programs. These neighborhood initiatives support federal initiatives and foster a welcoming atmosphere for locals thinking about making the transition to electric vehicles. Municipalities are free to design their own initiatives, many of which involve community involvement, infrastructure development, and financial incentives. Cities such as Oslo and Bergen, for example, have provided grants and subsidies to housing associations that make the investment to install charging stations. This program is especially crucial in cities where a large number of people reside in apartments and might not have access to private garages for charging. One of the main obstacles to the adoption of EVs is access to charging stations, which local governments are tackling by assisting in the construction of charging infrastructure. Local governments frequently provide electric vehicle owners with extra advantages in addition to the infrastructure needed for charging, like free or discounted parking, toll exemptions, and access to bus lanes. In addition to making owning an electric car more feasible, these regional incentives foster a feeling of community support for environmentally friendly transportation. Local governments are vital to the development of an electric mobility culture and the encouragement of environmentally conscious behavior among their citizens because they can customize programs to meet the specific needs of their communities. Number 1. Public awareness and education campaigns. In Norway, public awareness and education campaigns have played a significant role in influencing attitudes toward electric vehicles. The government has funded campaigns to educate the public about the advantages of electric vehicles in collaboration with a number of nonprofit groups and business stakeholders. These advertisements emphasize both the financial benefits of lower operating costs and the environmental benefits of electric vehicles, such as decreased greenhouse gas emissions and air pollution. Showcasing early adopters of electric vehicle success stories has proven to be an effective tactic. Through the dissemination of testimonies and case studies, these campaigns demonstrate the dependability and utility of EVs in daily life. A significant number of present electric vehicle owners state that they have encouraged friends, family, and coworkers to think about switching to electric vehicles, which has a snowball effect that encourages EV adoption. This social information dissemination is especially effective because it uses recommendations and first-hand accounts to sway prospective customers. In conclusion, a thorough and integrated strategy is what allowed Norway to successfully create an electric vehicle utopia. Together, these factors foster an atmosphere in which electric vehicles are not only practical, but also appealing. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.